Hello, my most amazing artist, and welcome back to Art with Miss Yezel. So the last time I talked to you and recorded a video for you, it was about totem poles. And totem poles are actually tell a story of a Native American family, or they tell a story that teaches a moral or a lesson to the children. So you see totem poles in Native Americans near their homes in the northwest of the United States. That's like Washington, Oregon, and there's lots of totem poles in Canada as well. But they have been carved out of large trees, and they have animal faces on them. And you were supposed to create a totem pole using the animal um, faces worksheets that I provided for you, and cut a couple of them out and glue them on a piece of paper and roll it into a tube to create your totem pole. I hope you had fun with that lesson. If you didn't do it, then you need to go back and watch it because there's a cool story in there too. So today we're going to be talking about a kind of art called op art. Op art op stands for optical, and optical has to do with your eyes, and illusion is a trick, so it's an eye trick kind of picture. So we're going to be talking about directed drawing. Directed means that you get directions on how to do this. So you're going to be directed through this op art picture with me. Optical illusions play tricks on your eyes and make you think that the picture is actually moving, and when it is not. You see these circles here and they kind of look like they might be moving, but they're not. It's just the way the artist has drawn them to trick your eye. So this picture is an optical illusion because it looks like a flat piece of paper, but the hand is coming off of the paper and it looks like it's drawing the other hand. So this person that drew this is named MC Escher, and he had fun playing with the illusion of space, which is flat and three-dimensional. He also drew his self-portrait as a reflection in a shiny mirrored ball. And it's very hard to draw like that, but he was very talented and he could do it really well. He also liked to make you think about his work. Like you have to think about which way to look at this picture because he drew it from different points of view and to make you think about which way to look at the picture. He also played around with space, and in this picture the fish is at the bottom and it slowly starts to move up the page and it turns into a bird. You can see that the empty space in between becomes the bird, and then the empty space in between becomes where the fish was. So he's playing with positive and negative space there. Also, he would create tessellations, which is like a puzzle, and these black and white lizards fit into each other just like a puzzle. And he did lots of pictures that look like a puzzle too. Okay, we're going to do an experiment today. We're going to play around with your eyes and show you that when you stare at a color for a long time and then you stare at an empty space, that you can sometimes still see the color. It's called an after image, and you can sometimes see the shape. The shape, not the same color, but the same shape. The color is going to be opposite. It's going to change colors. Isn't that cool? So the opposite of purple is yellow. So if we stared at this purple smiley face and then stared at a white space, then we would see the yellow smiley face. So let's try it. Stare at the purple smiley face for 10 seconds, and I will count for you. Now look at the white square and see if you see a yellow smiley face. Give your eyes a second to focus, and you should see it. Isn't that cool? I know, neat, right? So we're going to do one more. Ready? Stare at the black dot that is between the blue and orange squares. These colors are going to actually trade places. So let's stare at the dot for 10 seconds. Now stare at the white space. Did the colors trade places? That is so cool, isn't it? This artist was named Bridget Riley, and she liked to make pictures that look like they're moving. It is tricking your eye into thinking that this is spiraling down into the middle or that the page is wavy. It hurts your eyes if you look at them too long, don't they? This one looks like it's coming out at you. We're kind of attempting this kind of optical illusion with my fifth graders right now. And this one looks swirly, and this one looks like it's going down into the page. It looks like it's moving. It's playing with your eyes, isn't it? I know, it's cool, right? So, what is first grade doing today? First grade is drawing a picture that looks like these tubes or snakes, and they are all squished together, but they look three-dimensional, don't they? So we're going to try to create the illusion that these are all squished together on your picture. So you're going to need a piece of paper, you're going to need a pencil, and something to color with today. We're going to keep it very simple. Pencil, paper, and something to color with. And you can use whatever colors you want. And if we're going to be using crayons, but if you want to outline with a marker, you could grab a black marker. If you don't have a black marker, that's okay. You could outline with a black crayon as well. Okay, so crayons, pencil, paper. Get your stuff together, pause the video, get your stuff together, and then come back and join me to watch me draw this optical. You're going to need pencil, paper, and markers or crayons. Pretty simple materials for this lesson. This is an op art wiggly line design that we're going to create. If you are short on time, you can always reduce the size of your page by half, and it will take you a lot less time to fill in, especially if you are one of those people who doesn't like projects that take a super long time. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw some wavy lines. I'm going to try to echo this one, but I'm going to vary them. That means I'm going to change the way they go so that it is more interesting. Okay, some of them can be wider at the top, and now it's more narrow and then it gets wider. This one can go wide to narrow. It's up to you how you draw these lines. Okay, so we've got our wavy lines. Now we're going to create an optical illusion and try to make these look like they're like tubes that are slinky tubes that are curving and moving. So what we're going to do is we're going to use curved lines to create that illusion. Now the more curved lines you draw, the more slinky it's going to look. Now I'm going to curve it around. The next one, I'm going to show you how to change directions halfway. So some of these might line up, and it's okay if they do not. But you want to make sure that you're not drawing straight lines. Straight lines are not going to create this illusion. So right about here, we're going to change directions and go the other way. Okay, so you're just going to continue the same pattern of curved lines And then when you get about halfway down the page, you're going to change directions. So you're just going to continue that over the whole page. So we're going to go ahead and do this, and then you can fast forward through this part. Next step is to find a marker that has a good point on it, and you're going to outline all of these lines. So you're going to have to draw them all again. The lines really help create this illusion, so make sure that you're doing them correctly or it's not going to turn out very cool. It is an optical illusion. It means it's going to mess with your eyes. So if you don't draw the lines correctly, it doesn't do that. Now try to stay on your lines, otherwise you have a lot of erasing to do at the end. Make sure your lines curve. When they touch this line, they curve toward it. That helps with the illusion. I messed up these lines, so I'm going to fix them now. And I'll just go back and erase where I drew them the wrong direction. Try to stop at the line. Don't go past it. Take your time. It's tempting to speed up at this point, but speeding up is not the way to be neat. Take your time. Slow and steady wins the race. And if they look like they're too far apart, then go back and put some lines in between. The lines are leading your eye around this shape. So the more lines you have, the better the illusion. Next is the coloring part. Get your crayons and meet me back here, and I'll show you how to color it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick out colors that we think might be able to, we're going to vary how we color. So you're going to color harder and heavier at the edges of the curved line, the wavy lines on both sides. And then you're going to change direction and make it a little bit lighter next to that. And we're going to keep a little bit of white down the middle as a highlight, okay? So darker in the curved areas. Now I'm going to show you with a different color. How about a blue? So I'm coloring heavy coloring on both sides of this, and then lighter next to, make sure you're not leaving a lot of lines. We don't want to see your coloring lines, but I am coloring lighter than I did the first time. So heavy here, lighter next to it, and then white in the middle. And do you see how those look curvy now? And they look like they've got a little shiny spot on the top so that it looks more three-dimensional. Ooh, 3D is so cool. Optical illusions are so cool. And that, my friends, is a finished piece of art that is really cool. Happy creating!